All right, let's go out to Louisville, Kentucky, or as America says, Louisville, and talk to Terica. What's up, Terica?
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm at work.
What's that? I hope that's good. Sounds fantastic.
It's good. It's
Awesome.
fine.
All right. So what's up?
I was calling about our relationship with our son and his wife. My question was, how can we best communicate with our son and his wife that we feel hurt and left out by them always choosing her side of the family over us? We miss out on seeing our granddaughter, especially during the holidays, because they spend more time with our daughter-in-law's family and the multiple branches of her extended family. I hate that our son feels pulled both ways, and I would never ask him to choose us over his wife, but I feel that they don't divide the holidays equally or fairly between our families.
How's that conversation gone in the past?
Well, it's been only with our son, generally.
Sure.
Because she doesn't like confrontation.
Oh, boy. This just sounds gross. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Has your husband taken your son out for coffee or a drink or whatever, however they communicate? And they may not communicate at all, but say, hey, ma'am, I miss you. I miss my granddaughter. Is there something I've done? Is there something that we're doing to make people feel uncomfortable? Because I miss you guys.
Yeah, there's been conversations. Both me and him have had conversations with him.
Okay.
We do get to see them some. It just seems like the holidays are a little one-sided. You know, we do. They live close, so it's not like we don't see them at all. We do. She has divorced parents and divorced grandparents, as well as a robust step family through her stepmom. And so there is a lot going on with her, you know, especially during the holidays. But just this past Halloween, we got kind of left out in the cold. And it really hurts. And that's not the first holiday it's happened. And I don't look forward to the rest of the holidays because of it. So,
have you guys thrown a holiday party and invited them and they just have shunned you and said no?
They've never completely not tried to come until Halloween, this past Halloween. Usually we get 5-10 minutes here or there, or we maybe get an hour, or we can squeeze you in for 30 minutes, you know, and they never have time to do like the full event because they've got 3 other things to do before the day's over with.
What do you think it is? You're smart.
I think
Are y'all? I know. Let me ask you this: are y'all a lot?
Are we a lot? I don't think so. I don't think she agrees with everything we believe in politically or religiously.
Okay.
But we don't force those things on her while she's at her house. But she, you know, she has opinions and we respect them.
Okay.
We don't try to, you know, parent, you know, try to tell them how to parent their child or anything like that. I'm just worried. I'm getting kind of resentful, you know, that I have to beg for time with them, both of them, and her, my granddaughter as well.
So you probably heard me say this on the show, and it's one of the most heartbreaking things I can say. But behavior is a language. So if behavior is a language, what are they telling you?
That they don't enjoy being with us.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
that they'd rather be with other people.
No. That's you adding your part to the story.
Yeah.
That's adding your little dig. The facts that you know is that they have repeatedly told you through their actions, we would rather not be here. And anything else you add to that is you making up more to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And so with what you have, it's not your son's job or your daughter-in-law's job to fulfill your invented picture about what grandparenthood was going to look like. It is, I think, especially your son, his responsibility to be an adult and to have a hard conversation with his mom and dad, which he has refused to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fair to say, I'm assuming not. Now, you can tell me, no, you're wrong, John. But I'm assuming the conversation has not taken place with your husband and him off somewhere, just them two, over a steak or whatever. Hey, like, I just need to know for my own soul. Did we do something? Do we believe in something? Did we make you all upset? Did we make you mad? Did we hurt your wife? What happened? And your husband tell your son, my expectation, dude, is just be honest with me. Just tell me the truth.
Yeah.
And I know you want to pitch in there and you never let us do this and I miss my granddaughter and I get all that. But I think that's what's led to this. And maybe he has a very, very immature wife. Maybe. But my wife has 5,872,000,000 cousins and all kinds of family. And we alternate. Just how we do it. We both love being with both crews. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. The husband and the son have not probably sat down face to face alone, but there has been phone conversations.
Phone conversations aren't going to cut it.
As good.
Not going to cut it. And y'all live in the same community. Because here's what usually happens. You get upset and your husband feels like he needs to take care of you and he calls and says, hey man, what's up? Can't come for 10 minutes? And your son goes, all right, Dad, we'll be there for 10 minutes. Oh, we'll swing by. And they swing by for 10 minutes and then they leave. Is that about what happens?
Yeah, probably.
Probably. I think your grown-up husband needs to have a grown-up conversation with his grown-up son.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess if boundaries are needed, I'm blind to those issues if that's the case, but I'd like to know them.
Probably. That may be why they're creating pretty firm ones.
Yeah.
And you may have said something 4 years ago that you don't even remember saying that set off something in your daughter-in-law's heart and mind and body that she experienced when her family got divorced and she made a commitment that I'm not going to be a part of X, Y, or Z. And you may not even know. That's why I like the invitation. I'm going to be weird and I'm going to go first. And if he says, your son looks your husband in the eye and says, Dad, there's nothing. We got a lot of family to see, and so this is kind of how we do it. Then you and your husband have to grieve the ever-loving crap out of this because that just stinks.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. And then y'all can choose to just extract every second of those 10 minutes you get. You can choose to send little videos and write letters and have a once a month or once every 2 weeks, we're going to send a book to the grandkids. We are going to, behaviors of language, we're going to act into this little sliver of space we have to let you know that we love you, we love you, we love you. And if your mom and dad don't want us to see you, you're never going to not know that we don't love you to the moon and back. See what I'm saying? I mean, you can do what you can with what you got.
Yeah. And we've been doing that.
That's awesome.
Up until now.
Yes, yeah. Awesome. So what happened in this particular Halloween that made you upset?
I asked ahead of time if they would just stop by because I knew they did probably already have plans to go somewhere. And he said, yeah, we'll stop by for a few minutes. I had a little goodie bag and a little coloring book I had bought for her. And I wanted to see her in her costume. And the evening just, flew by and they never showed up. And, he texted me to say that she was cold and they went ahead and went home, and never stopped by. So.
And I don't.
It just hurt.
I don't see a problem with you taking your son out for coffee, saying, "Hey, that hurt." Your mom's at least worth a phone call to say that you're not coming. But I had stuff.
He tried to call, but I was already crying and upset, and so I wasn't ready to talk about everything.
So why'd you go there?
So. Because this isn't the first time, and there's always an excuse. It's never the truth. I don't guess. And
why is that a story you've made up? Potentially made up. You think your son lies to you every time?
No, I don't. I just don't think he talks for her, and I think he tries to not hurt our feelings.
Okay. Does he have permission to hurt your feelings?
From me?
Has he ever had permission to hurt your feelings as long as he's been alive?
I mean, I don't guess he needed permission. He can do it if he wants. And he has.
Not really. Here's what I'm saying. Was it his job to make sure, like, hey, don't do that or your dad's going to get mad? Or, hey, pick that up. Your mother's coming home.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And it sounds like it sounds like the adults in his life need to have adult conversations. Hey, honey, I'd love to take you out for dinner, just you and me. And you can do that. His dad can do that. But I think this dancing around the topic, can you come by for 10 minutes? Sure, we'll be there. You didn't come. I'm weeping. Hey, Mom, I'm trying to call. I can't take your call. Then Thanksgiving comes around. Hey, can y'all swing by for a little bit just to have some pie? Sure. And then this whole, man, just cut all that out. Just sit down across the table, adult to adult, and say, hey, I love you. And I had this picture in my mind that when you start having kids, we'd have this big time together. And I know your wife has a huge family. What have we done? What have we done? What have I done? Have I made it hard? And I'm a big girl, and you can tell me the hard truth, but it's not adding up. Or say the thing I always say: behavior's a language, and it's coming through loud and clear. You don't want to be around us, and you're allowed to do that. You're an adult, but it breaks my heart. And what happened? I think you have to be that clear and that direct. And if he looks you in the eye and lies to you, then that's your answer. And I 100% know that's scarier than just playing it the 10 minutes by 10 minutes every couple of months. Because there's a finality to that, potentially. There's a vulnerability to it. And he might say, my wife is simply uncomfortable with you and your politics and your religious stuff. She's uncomfortable. And then you get to decide.
I'm afraid.
Go ahead.
I am afraid to completely lose them.
Yeah, but now you're in resentment. You have lost them. You have lost them. Because you're not grieving it. You're just getting madder and madder. You're just simmering and simmering and simmering. And your son would say, Mom, I tried to call. This thing happened. My kid was sick. I went to go home. And you wouldn't take my call. That would be, if he called my show right now, that's what he would say. I tried to call my mom and let her know. She wouldn't even take my call. See how this just goes round and round and round until somebody flips all the lights on and says, I'm done with this. Just let's sit down and talk.
Yeah. No, I agree. We need come to Jesus meeting, I guess is what you call it.
Yeah, but it's not a come to Jesus, because when I think of come to Jesus, I think of hey, this is the way it's going to be. And I don't think that needs to be this meeting. This is a truth-telling meeting. This is a vulnerable, you could really hurt me right now, and I'd rather be hurt and know the truth than just continue to do this silly little dance. Because the silly little dance is just burning us both up. He's getting anxious every holiday season because he feels like he has to display his kid on a trophy, however everybody in the world wants to see his kid. And you have expectations, his wife has expectations, his in-laws have expectations, and enough's enough. It's why me and my wife started sending an email out. Actually, I'm behind on that. I need to get that out. But we started sending an email out to all of our family. Here's what we're doing this holiday season. We'd love for you to be a part of it. It might only be 24 hours this year. It might be a week next year, whatever that looks like. But here's what we're doing. And then the adults in our lives get to choose. Are they going to be upset? They're going to be happy? They're going to be overjoyed? They're going to join us? They're going to not join us? That's the choices they're making. Or my dad calls and says, hey, we would really mean a lot to us if you did this. Awesome. We're going to try to figure that out. But it's grown-up time, talking to grown-up time. No more dancing. And by the way, I'm going to strongly suggest you and your husband don't do this together. because it's going to throw your kid's body back into when he was 9 years old and he got in trouble for something and mom and dad sat on either one of the chairs in the living room kind of thing. Don't do that. One of you at a time. Preferably dad. But if dad just won't do it, then mom can do it too. And it's not attack. It is not, hey, why have you been? That's not what we're doing here. It is, man, I had a different picture in my head and I've clearly done something. And I'm sorry, but I miss you guys. What happened? I'm a grown up. I can take it, but please tell me the truth. Let's all choose reality and start from there. I hate this for you, Terica. I hate it. But maybe if you go in with a posture of humility and vulnerability, you might learn, yeah, Mom, whenever we mention this, you say this, and we're just not going to be around that anymore. Or, yeah, you make it real uncomfortable with this, and this. Maybe you'll hear that. And then you'll have an opportunity to change or an opportunity to say, well, that's just the way I am. And that's my hope for you guys. But let's start with calling it what it is. Let me know how that conversation goes. I'm going to be fascinated to hear how this one wraps up.